Salutations, boys and girls. My name is ArraySeven. To anyone who has seen even a few of my videos, it's pretty obvious that I have a thing for the Bonesaw. It's my intro, my profile image, and it was the thing that got me started on YouTube in the first place. But the question remains, why do I like it so much? As many of you have so generously pointed out to me, the Solemn Vow is a direct upgrade from the Bonesaw and automatically makes the stock inferior in every way, right? But that's where many of you are wrong, and here's why. Thinking back to the earlier days of TF2, there were item sets, basically rewarding you for having an entire set of cosmetics and weapons with a slightly improved statistic. The Saharan Spy set in particular was way overpowered for a while because of this. But that was removed later, and instead of having those sets, now you just leave themed tombstones. The same thing happened to the Amputator. Once upon a time, around the medieval mode update, it was pretty much a stock Bonesaw that could heal if you taunted with it. But lo and behold, the great Valve God descendeth upon the Amputator and had smitten it with nerfs most evil. And that's a concern for me. The Solemn Vow has the potential for being on the nerf chopping block. Now, I like strangers and kill streaks, so if I was going to sink time and metal into getting both of those, I wanted to be sure it was going to stay untouched, and the possibility of it being nerfed was as unsettling as a clown with chainsaws for testicles. What's more, the Solemn Vow is a psychological crutch. When you're using that wonderfully chiseled bust, you spend all of your time asking yourself one question. Can I take him on? And you use being able to see their health to make that decision. Compared to the Bonesaw, in which the only sentence going through your head will always be,
"Fuck yeah, I can take him. Come here, little cream puff. Let me teach you the meaning of butt Christmas."
With the Solemn Vow, most of your focus is on singling out enemies, leaving the possibility of you not being fully aware of your surroundings. A combat medic always needs to have their focus entirely on what they're doing. If you see someone with low health limping off in a direction, you're going to prioritize that person for the easy kill rather than focus on what really poses a threat to you. Leaving any kind of room for distraction could very well give you a lethal dose of bullet. Point is, the Solemn Vow creates hesitancy and draws your attention away from what needs it. Now, some of you may also argue that the Ubersaw is a much more viable option, and they're partially right. It certainly has its uses and is by far the best option in competitive, but not so much for combat medics. Personally, I find the Bonesaw's faster swing speed is indispensable, mainly because the more damage per second the better, and it increases your chances of a random crit the more times you swing. So sure, the Uber buildup is useful, but honestly, the only time I ever use Uber is being a bonk medic. Otherwise, Uber charge just seems more of a burden to me, like Stephen Hawking in a cave expedition. But the biggest and most important reason for using the stock Bonesaw is that it's fun. I thoroughly enjoy giving people surprise vasectomies with it. It's creamingly satisfying to me. All you out there who think I'm a moron for not using the Solemn Vow are forgetting that Team Fortress 3 is not a game of numbers, meaning that something being statistically superior doesn't automatically make it better. If you enjoy using a weapon as much as the Bonesaw, then that weapon of yours is automatically the most overpowered item in the game. I use the Bonesaw because it's mine, and it's what makes me a badass. I know what works for me, and if the Ubersaw or Solemn Vow fits you better, then by all means knock yourself out. So, JDs and Lentilmen, my name is ArraySeven, and that is why I use the Bonesaw and not the Statue of Chivalry, or the Ubersaw for that matter. I wish you all the most joyous of occasions.
Play button, glutton of words. Mutton, birds of fly to you, dropping turds. Hopping up on ignorance to feel how your body pop up the real. Dance the visual cry to deity. Pious piety might it be. To see is truly to be me. I see everything there is, so I must be more than thee. My creed in the game is to be stupid rappers is bane. Humidity forms when I arrive. Harder lines than cocaine. Got a line of frown and acid to become plastic.